it matters. So make sure that you always are as aware of where you're in, what room you're in, as you are what you're wearing. Make sure what room you're in is a reflection of the environment you want to be in, right? Just like what you're wearing is a reflection of the environment, right? You want to make sure that you're always clothing yourself with the right people, just like you are with the right.
Appreciate that.
Yes. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's 7 o'clock. Thank you all for coming so early. It's always nice to have early conversation. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hope everyone had a good week. We're back on it, starting on time, right? Because we love time, because we love ourselves, because our lives is comprised of time, as Bruce Lee said. If you love your life, you'll love time, because your life is comprised of it. So welcome to another Saturday. We're here clicking and clacking. We're about to turn this gas on, get this lard, this Crisco out, and we about to start cooking, flaming it up, right? We about to start flaming it up. So, first thing today, I'll start you off with this one, since this is actually what you're doing. Tambourine. What is, we all have one of these. This is the original definition of something that we all have. Tambourine, what is that?
Little drum.
Yeah. So we all have one. Does everybody have a tambourine? The one that she's talking about? Does everybody have one of those?
I do.
No.
Leslie, do you have one?
No.
So I said we all have one. So then it can't be that. Right? So what is it? That's one. Veronica said one. Okay. What is it? What is the tambourine that we all have? This is the original definition of something.
Your hands?
Okay. Think about a tambourine. Look at it in your mind. Anybody else? This is the original definition of your ear. The original definition of ear,
Yeah.
tambourine. That's why you have an ear drum. Tambourine was the original definition of ear. That's where that came from. All right. Now, anybody seen those? Does everybody know what bagpipes are? Those things that people play? Bagpipes, right? Okay. Where did bagpipes come from?
Every time you ask a question, we know it's deeper than it.
That's right. That's right.
We think on the surface.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Michelle put Scotland.
Okay.
The
All right.
Vikings.
Whoop.
The Vikings.
Okay, Scotland, the Vikings. Anyone else? Got we on it?
When he put the Irish.
The Irish. All right.
The heart. The heart.
The heart. Man, I love all of your enthusiasm, and for every one of you, you're getting there. Just gonna start that off right there. And we're gonna go from there. So bagpipes originally from ancient Egypt. Originally, they're from ancient Egypt. They were the bags were made out of dog skins, out of old dog skins, and the pipes were made out of bones. When the Romans came into Africa, they basically took the concept of it, brought it back to Rome, and then it basically made its way through Europe from there. But originally, the original bagpipes that we would call bagpipes, the original ones that the Scottish have perfected, so to speak, meaning what everyone knows them as, meaning perfection. Everyone knows them as the people who play the bagpipes. Those were originally created in ancient Egypt as actually an Egyptian instrument or type of situation, right?
Did they hijack it, or it was just like it got popular?
Well, it just got like words. It just gets kind of transliterated into something else. Everybody takes their own version of it, right? It makes it their own thing, right? Everybody has somebody has to start everything. So did you steal it? I mean, yeah, because you didn't create it, but did you steal it? You just made your own version of it, kind of,
Okay.
right? Because everybody has their own version of things in different parts of the country because everybody doesn't have access to the same materials or the same weather or the same whatever else.
Makes
Right?
sense.
But originally, that is where bagpipes were created. And for those of you who just got here, the original word for ear was tambourine. It is tambourine still. It's not was. Because people don't use it that way anymore, it doesn't mean that's not what the original definition is. The original definition of ear is tambourine. All right. This is something I'm going to circle back to, something I said a long time ago, and a lot of you probably weren't here when I said it, so I'm going back to. Does anybody know? Okay, everybody goes to Costco. You guys all know. I fought it for a long time, but my mom is like I don't know, the union representative for Costco, I think, low key, I don't know. But she thinks Costco has everything in the world. And as long as I fought it, I'm starting to believe her a little bit. So we'll see, right? But anybody know Costco's their own brand called Kirkland? Okay. This word Kirk. Anybody know what that word means?
Captain of the Starship Enterprise.
Okay. Okay. Kirk. Does anybody know what the word Kirk means?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of you on here, and I only hear one person talking about no.
When you put elevate,
Okay. Who else?
Michelle said strong.
Strong. Okay. Kirk means church. Kirk means church. Church. Kirk and church are the same word essentially. Church means circa, right? Or roundabout, or round, right? It also means circle, right? Around, about, around. So when people ask you, are you going to church or do you go to church? Do you know what they're really asking you? Like truly, not today, because most people don't know anything about anything. Everything now has been literally changed, right? When they say, do you go to church? Do you know what they're really asking? Do you know what this circle is referring to?
My intuition says like life.
Okay,
And then Michelle put, do you go in circles?
okay.
And
One
The
more.
brain. The brain.
The brain. This circle is referring to the zodiac.
Ah,
It's referring to the zodiac. The zodiac means circle of animals, essentially. When you look at Libra, that's not an animal, that's a zodiac sign. I think it's the 11th one, I think it's the 11th. Right? What they're essentially asking you when they say what denotatively, meaning originally, and it's still the truth. People use it connotatively. Did you go to church? Yeah, I go to so-and-so. Yeah, I go to so-and-so. That is connotative. That is what people take it to mean now, how people are using it now. That's not what it means. That's just how people are using it now. That's not what it means. Just like tambourine means ear. And that doesn't mean that now people use it as the instrument. That's where they formed the instrument from. It's formed in the shape of an ear, right? You're beating the drum with the outside, you're beating the inside. The eardrum, that's the thing that you're banging on the physical tambourine that you call what you call today a tambourine. But originally that tambourine meant ear, right? Zodiac is talking about the circle of animals. What they were really asking you was, Do you consult the zodiac? Do you look at the stars for your answers or for your inspiration, information, understanding? That's what they're asking you when they say, do you go to church? That's what they mean. That's what is meant by that. It was talking about astrology. So when you're looking at in a lot of any type of religious text, they use a lot of astrology, a lot of symbolism. They use a lot of numerology. These are all different books that are not talking really about they're trying to explain who you really are in physicality. They're saying, yes, you have a physical body, but that's yours, it's not you. And so they use numerology, they use psychology, they use all these zodiac symbols, they use astrology, they use all this trying to get you to understand who you really are and how your mind works, how your spirit works, how consciousness works. That's really what they're asking you when they're asking you these questions. They're really saying, do you consult the zodiac? Are you aware of the stars and what these words mean and everything like that? A lot of what you're getting now and a whole lot of psychics and tarot card readers and everything like that, what you're getting essentially is the Dollar Tree. I'm just telling you, you're getting the remnants of the origin. Does that make sense? They're taking the easiest part to understand for themselves, convey to you that you pay for. But they're not giving you the whole circle. They're not telling you what the circle means. They're not telling you what all these things are really about. They're just telling you enough because you're interested and enough that they can understand, that they can get you to understand so you think you have value and you think you know really what, oh, I'm a Libra, I'm a Scorpio. Most people should stop saying that. They don't even know what that is. They don't even really know what that means, right? So just be happy you're alive. Just be happy you were born. Most of us should just stop even talking about our signs because we swear we know it from a couple good books and our friends and some candles. But it's far, far deeper than that because it's not just about you, right? Each sign is its own sign, but is connected with all the other ones, right? Just like the 12 zodiac signs, 12 hours, the 12 hours on a clock, your 12 cranial nerves, all the 12 disciples. There's reasons for all these numbers. And so a lot of people just take the very generic, watered down, like I said, Dollar Tree, 99-cent store version of something. And it's like buying instead of Cheerios, just O's. Now, if you've had both of those, right, you're like, Mom, you made a mistake. This is not the right box. You're almost traumatized. You're like, what is this? Right? So, because you realize that you can if you just put half of it, no, where's the cheer on here? Because these are just O's, and there's no cheer in these O's. This tastes terrible, right? You realize the generic is not the same thing as the original. And so when people are asking you this, I'm giving you the original. I'm always giving you the original something. So that way you really know what it is. You don't have to do anything with it, but just I like for you to know these things, right? That's what they're talking about. Last one.
I love these warm-ups. You could erase that F.
Oh, don't worry. I'll bring it back. I meant to put it in red. There'll be some other failures out here today. I know it. Don't worry. I didn't mean that. That's slipped. All right. Last one. I could do these all day, but we ain't got time.
Yeah.
Gossip. What does that word mean? Like Leslie said, I don't expect you to know, but like she said, think before you talk. Because it don't mean what we all say it means.
Chief man?
Did you just hear what I said?
It
does not, and that doesn't make it correct in any language. F is an F. God. Right? Yeah, so they say cheese man, right? What is that? What do we think gossip means?
Michelle put news.
News, okay. That's pretty good.
Cassidy put rumors.
Okay.
Monique put tell what you heard.
All right, you get both. Those are two of those are true, and one of them is what we are now. Sharing information, that is true too.
Yeah. Right.
So gossip is actually two words.
Gavin put false information, and George said spread.
Okay, it's two words. God and Sid. Sib with a B.
Oh.
Sid, like sibling, right? So God is referring to godparents. It's talking about godparents. It's talking about people who are related to the child but aren't their parents. And sibling, when you put the L-I-N-G, it means directly related to. You're talking about brother, sister, right? Something like that. The sib over here just means somebody you're related to, but it's not necessarily direct, right? Like godparents, right? God said. It means these people were originally people that the child could talk to that weren't their parents, that they could share information with, that they could spread, that they could get information from. That's essentially what that word means. That's literally what it originally, that's what it is. Like I said, it's different now, but that's what it is. It's essentially your godparents, the people that you can share information from, get information from, that are related to you, but not directly, right? That child could go to. Then it went into the people who were in the room of the woman who was giving birth. Because back in the day when this was happening, it was a big deal to give birth. And so whoever the woman wanted in the room, which is normally like her friends, so to speak, they would share information about the experience. So to share information is directly true. But the people sharing information were not gossiping as in rumor. They were sharing information about what actually went on to people who were not there, who were not present or allowed to be present. Right? Now it has shifted into rumor, innuendo. Generally, anytime you hear the word gossip, you already know it's some cat or it's just some ridiculousness.
Or
Right?
some good stuff.
Or that too. We're like, girl, let me tell you.
Let me
Bro,
tell you.
man, let me tell you this, whatever, right? That's essentially what it is. But generally, originally, that's what the word, and still that's what the word means. Right?
Good old girl, let me tell you.
You ain't heard it from me. Let me tell you, but you ain't heard it from
I
me.
don't want to gossip. So you ain't heard that from
All right.
me.
All right. Okay. Every week I have 1,000 million things I want to tell you all, and most of the time I don't get through all of them. So I try to make sure if I don't tell you anything, I tell you this. I try to make sure I at least tell you one of those things. There's so much to tell you, and it's all important and valuable, but I try to make sure I tell you one thing that if you don't remember anything else, remember this. So this one today, a teacher's purpose. A teacher's purpose. A teacher's purpose is to give you the information or the experience, to give you something that helps you have a better understanding, not only of it, but more than anything, of yourself. A teacher's information is designed, a good teacher, just to say, let's assume this teacher is a good teacher. A teacher's job is to give you information that leads you back to yourself, that empowers you, that makes you more aware of who you are and what you are, of which skills you have, or what abilities you have. It's always designed to be self-empowering. It's always designed maybe to come from them, but it is to come to you, to awaken within you all the things that you have already there, that you're just unaware of. Right? Your ability to walk, your ability to think, your ability, all those abilities you have are already in you from the time you come into this world. You can start to realize them progressively. But you always have the ability to walk, otherwise you couldn't. You always have the ability to run, otherwise you couldn't. You're not buying, walking on Amazon, running on Amazon, crying on Amazon. All the things that you can do as an adult, you could do as a child. But as you became more aware, you started actualizing those abilities. Right? You start crawling, you start rolling over your stomach, you start crawling, and you start standing up, and you start wobbling, you start walking. But those abilities were already there. But as your consciousness becomes turned on, you start to look for them, so to speak. Your wallet is already there, but when you're asleep, you're not looking for it. Right? But once you awaken, it's time to do something, you start looking for what you need to do that. And when you, like Johnny was talking about early, being aware of your environment, that's why if you look at younger siblings, they do things a lot of times faster than the older ones, because they have someone to copy and mimic. Right? They're like, oh, you can do that, but the oldest one doesn't have anyone really to copy and mimic, especially closer to its age. So it doesn't necessarily see the relevance of something as much. But when you're around something a little closer to you, somebody 2 years older, 3 years older, you feel like, okay, that's in my range to copy. Babies don't necessarily copy adults as far as walking and running. It's not as intuitive. But if they have a 1 year older or a 2 year older sibling, they'll copy much quicker because they're closer. Right? So who you're around and what you're around a lot of times can accelerate something. Right? Your learning, your awareness, or whatever else it is. A teacher's job is to awaken and inspire, right? Meaning to turn on within you. Motivation is used to do that, but the ultimate goal of motivation, external fire, is to light your own internal fire. It's to get you to see and understand that what is being told to you, you have the ability to do, the ability to be, the ability to have whatever it is, depending on whatever it is. So every week that you come here, every person that you listen to, the goal should be to look at what I'm saying and listen to what I'm saying so that you can look at and listen to yourself. Everything I tell you is to be turned around for you to look at you. It's not so important. It's not as important. What I say is not as important as what it makes you think, as what it turns on in you. Everything that a teacher does, if it's a good teacher, is designed to inspire you, meaning to turn on the gifts, the magic, the ability, the greatness, the skills, all the things that are already in you that you may not be looking for because you may be asleep or unaware that you possess that. Like I said, you may not be looking for your wallet when you're asleep, but it doesn't mean it's not there. But if you're asleep, you're not looking for it. If you're not aware or awake, you're not looking for something that you already have. A teacher's job is almost like the sunrise or an alarm clock. It is to alert you, is to bring awareness to you of something so that you start looking for it. Every week, my intention is to tell you different things about the tambourine or about church or about nice or about whether they're words or bagpipes or whatever we're talking about, words or situations or people or history or health, whatever it is. All of that is designed to start waking you up, to say, wow, if I didn't know that, what else didn't I know? Wow, if I thought that was that, but it's not really that, what else am I actually thinking that may be used this way, but isn't actually correct? What else am I actually, it's to start awakening, the process of awakening, and to consistently awaken you to yourself so that you start thinking for yourself, so that you start looking at yourself and say, wow, just like you're looking at me right now, I want you to look at yourself and think something. I want you to look at yourself and realize what you're saying to yourself. Like you're looking at me and you're realizing what I'm saying to you. The whole point of everything that is done here every Saturday is so that whatever you think you are doing as a student, you turn around and do it to yourself as the teacher. That you look at yourself and say, huh. That you listen to yourself and say, huh. That you actually start, my goal, my intent is to say things, present things, provide things that turn you on, that turn on that inspire you, that make you look at yourself, listen to yourself, think about what you're thinking about, think about what you're believing. It is all about you. It's not about me. It is about me to turn you on. It's about me so that you will actually be whatever it is you want to be, whatever it is you want to do, or whatever it is you want to have. That is the purpose of coming here. It's to reflect back to yourself because you are ultimately everything you're looking for. You are your own pastor, you're your own therapist, you're your own doctor, you're your own pharmacist, you're your own business, you're your own success. You are everything that you think is external, really is internal But you look for it externally if you don't know you already possess it internally. That is my intention every week, is to get you to look inside for that what you're thinking is outside. To get you to realize that you are everything that you admire in someone else. That you can be or do or have whatever you like someone else being, doing, or having, that you enjoy or inspire or motivated or by. It's what is he, it doesn't, I don't care whether you like it or not, agree or not. That's not the biggest point. The biggest point is, what did he say and what did it make me think? What did it make me think? What did it turn on in me? What did it make me say, what do I think about that? I don't care what you think as long as you start thinking. That's the goal here. That's the intention here, is to get you to think, because if you can do that, you can be free. It is amazing how many of us in life have gone into a class, a seminar, a sermon, or whatever else it is, as students or as whatever. And we will go and sit there and listen to people tell us what to think, but don't want them to tell us what to do. How do you think you can separate those two things? If all you're going to do is sit there and listen to somebody tell you what to think, and you never awaken to start using the process of how to think, you are always going to be the slave, always going to be a slave to the person who's telling you what, if you don't know how to. You are a slave to dirty water if you don't have a filter. You are a slave to the rain if you don't have an umbrella. If you don't have a medium with which you filter your experience, you are going to be, most of the time, victimized by it. Maybe sometimes you'll benefit, but the point is you won't have any say on whether you're a victim or the victor, because you don't have an umbrella in the rain. You can't say how hard it rains. If you don't have a filter, you can't tell somebody's lying to you or not. If it sounds good enough, you'll use it. But the law is not a human, meaning you can't finesse it. You can't come to the law of mind with a lie and think you're going to get the benefit of the truth. Right? So if you want to truly be free, you have to learn how to think, how to process the information that is coming your way, how to seek or search for the information that you're looking for. And my statement to you is, there's everything you're looking for is in you, including how to find what you're looking for outside of you. That is the goal of every bit of information, quiz, trivia, Fs, right? And everything else that we do here on Saturdays. It is to stimulate your own being, to realize that you are the greatness that you seek, the goodness that you seek, the guidance that you seek. It is internal, but a lot of us have been conditioned to think it's only external, so that's the only place we seek for it. And we all want to be grown, but you can't be grown if you don't know how to think. Because what you think, if we realize it, and we've all been here long enough, we realize what we think is not most of the time true or actual fact. But we believe it as truth and fact and wonder why we struggle, wonder why we work hard and miss the mark, wonder why we are literally become weary in well-doing. Because we're working our butt off with a premise, not realizing that that premise is incorrect. It's not true. And anything you're operating on that's not the truth is a lie. And lies enslave just as much as truths free. It doesn't matter why you believe the lie. It doesn't matter what lie you believe. The outcome is the same. The law is not emotional. It's not personal. It's not moral. It's not ethical. It just is. Like gravity, like electricity, like the current of the ocean, like the sun and the moon going up and going down. It just does. But once you learn how to work with it, you can benefit from it. You won't go outside at midnight trying to get a tan just because it's summer. Right? You can't finesse the law. You can't finesse the law of mind. You can't finesse it. So everything that any good teacher does, anything that I am attempting and intending to do with you all each week, is to give you information that inspires you to turn on your own processes of thought, of filtration, of saying, it doesn't matter so much what he said. What did it make me think? What did it make me feel? How does that reflect my current thoughts, my current beliefs? Right? So that you can decide, like Leslie was saying early before the call started around 6:30 something, you can decide what you think consciously on purpose. Just like you decide what you buy in a grocery store, or you decide where you live, or you decide what you buy in the mall. That's the benefit of being grown, is you have more authority and autonomy, but the responsibility comes with it. And I always say a fool does not stay free long. We don't stay free in our ignorance. So when people say ignorance is bliss, yeah, that's because you don't know you're a slave yet. But you are to anything you don't know. You are to anything you don't understand. Because you can't use it for your highest and best good. You can't use it to live by and live on. Right? So I want, if you don't remember anything else we said today, I want you to understand why. I want you to understand why you should come here every week, meaning what your intention should be. Your intention should be, it's not so much what he says, yeah, that's cool, or what is said, but what does it make me think? What does it inspire in me? What does it turn on in me? What do I think about that? How does that relate or reflect or refer to anything else I believe? And that's why we do all the definitions and all the words and things like that. Because once we realize that, hey, we may be thinking differently than what this actually is. I thought it was something, but it actually is not that. I thought it meant it, but it doesn't mean that. I thought it came from there. I would have never thought bagpipes came from Egypt. I would have never thought that. I would have never thought nice meant basically stupid, without lacking knowledge, without knowing. I would have never thought church meant consulting the zodiac. I would have never thought that. So that's why I always say to people, I'm much as I'm growing in my own thing, because I'm growing just like everyone else here. And as I'm growing in my own thing, I'm much less judgmental and critical, but I'm also less tolerant. And what that means is, hey, I understand why you think this way, or why you feel this way, or why you said that. Because I've done it. I can remember when I did it. I can remember why I thought it. We all have ways we come into untruths. However, I'm intolerant. I won't tolerate it. I'm not going to agree with you. I'm not going to say I understand like that's the truth. I'm not going to play with you, because the outcome is not going to play with either one of us. Right? And so I will say to a lot of people, hey, I'm willing to be misunderstood until you understand. I'm not confessing that you will not understand. I confess the opposite. But my point is, if I have to make a point, I'm willing to stand on this square until you get it. Because you may mean well, but that's not correct. You may think that's the truth, but that's not correct. And at the end of the day, our lives are governed by laws. Electricity, gravity, thermodynamics, sowing and reaping, whatever else it is. And if we know them, we can work with them. If we don't, they feel like they're working against us. Right? So that is why I'm very particular about what we say, how we think, not just what we think, what we say, how we think, what we think. All of them matter, because all of those things, what you say, what you think, how you think, is governing your life. When I say you are God, what do I mean by that? I mean that you are the highest level of authority in your life as an individual. Not everybody else's authority on the screen. You are your authority. You are the authority that is governing your life. And that authority that is governing your life is your consciousness. It means what you are assuming and believing and feeling yourself to be on a regular basis, daily, in every area of your life, individually and cumulatively, collectively in the aggregate. You are the highest level of authority in your life. You are the governor. You are el presidente. You are el jefe. You are la jefa. You are it.
La jefa.
Right? And Yeah, right? So that's what I mean when I say you are God. I'm not talking about the thing you bathe and clothe. I'm not talking about walk down the street and talk about. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to create in you is an awareness of the truth, which is your life is going according to your beliefs, your thoughts, and your feelings about your life as a whole and every area and aspect of your life individually. That's what I mean when I say you are God. I am saying that you are the authority that is governing your experience. And you use everything outside of yourself, which is first your body. From your body out, you use everything to have that experience of what your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings are. They are all physical reflections of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. The people in your life, your body, your health, your money, every physical thing outside of you starting with your body is in your world because it reflects a thought, feeling, or belief that you have about it. How it goes reflects a thought, feeling, and belief you have about it. And so, like Leslie said before the call, when you're spending that 10 minutes talking to yourself, or when you're spending that 10 minutes scripting, then and you start seeing the thoughts in your mind, they don't have to be judged or condemned, but you better become aware of what they are. Because that's actually what is the precursor. That's what's predicting your future. The ones you have are predicting your future. It's telling you this is in here and this is going to be used at some point. So everything that we do here in this class is designed to get you to turn on your mind, to become aware of your consciousness and what your consciousness is believing itself to be, how you are conditioning it, what you are feeling yourself to be, not only in speech, but just in static awareness. What am I believing myself to be overall or in this area? That's what everything we do is designed to do, is to inspire you, is to get you to turn on that flame within yourself, turn on that consciousness within yourself, and to consciously choose any and everything as the authority of your life. That's the whole goal. In every illustration and every bit of information that's given and every conversation, everything is designed to do that. And that primarily, really, and only. Because if I can turn you back to you, there's no one like you. You don't have any competition. Nobody can offer what you offer. You're enough. You're more than enough. But not if you don't know it, not if you don't use it, not if you're looking for everyone and everything else outside of you. Then what happens to you? Right? It puts us in everybody else's business because we're not paying attention to ourselves. We make gods out of everything. Our degrees, our religions, our genders, our neighborhoods, our employment, our how much money we have. We make gods out of everything because we don't realize we're the only one. If money is a god, then what is the God who made money? Is it like God squared? Is it like we're doing exponents now? Is it, right? There's only one God. That's it. It's the highest level of thought and consciousness, which is what you are in human form. That's why you can do what no other living organism on this planet can do. Now, I don't know if I do, but I'll say it this way. I don't know if there's other planets. I do know, but I'm just going to say this. I don't know if there's other planets. I don't know if there's other life forms on other planets. I don't know, and I don't really care. I'm just from my own personal. I don't really care if there's aliens. I don't care. I'm not saying there is or there isn't. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't care. I have enough for me. I'm talking about me now. I'm not talking about what you should think of. I'm talking about me. I don't care. I have enough of my own thing. I care about my checkbook. Once that says all the numbers I wanted to say, then I'll go look for some aliens, or if anybody else is creeping around here, then I'll go on safari. I'll do it. I'll see what's out here. But I'm focused on me right now, right? So what I'm saying is that on this planet, you are the highest living organism that I've ever seen or known, as far as in thought, right? And so you are the authority of your life. And so my job, my desire, my intention is to bring you to that awareness every week through all the different conversations, all the different topics and everything. That's it. That's all. It's not to divert you anything. It's not to make you anything. It's not to form some kind of group or coalition. It's not to. You're not in allegiance to anything or anyone. It's literally to be in allegiance with yourself. To start, right, becoming your own alliance. This is all for and about you. It's not about me. Anything I say is to bring you back to you. I can't help you any more than I can help me. And I'm still trying to figure out how to help myself. Right? And so everything I say is for you to make you aware that you can help yourself. Right? And start looking for that. Start realizing that all those things that you're looking for on the outside. Okay. All right. So hopefully that's clear. I wanted to make sure we understood that. Okay. Now, since that's the truth, I was talking to my brother yesterday, and like I said, every time I talk to people, I try to find examples that they can understand to help them understand the truth or the principle overall. So my brother was a quarterback. So I was saying to him that when you do a certain drill, you do a drill over and over and over enough so that when you're in the game, you don't have to be conscious of that skill to use it. It becomes subconscious. It becomes a skill that you can use without actually thinking about it. So that you're using that skill still while now using another skill consciously. You may be making a different decision. So when you drop back and you're looking for who to throw the ball to, if you have to figure out how to drop back, you can't think about who you're going to throw the ball to. So what you do is you practice backing up like this over and over and over to the point that you don't have to think about that anymore. Now in the game, when you're dropping back, you can now not think about this thing that you're still doing and need to do. What you can focus on who to throw the ball to. So you start with something and you condition it to the point where now you're operating with that while applying that to something else. Okay, everybody understand that example so far, I'm sorry. Okay, now watch this. What if you started repeating something that you could use all the time? What if your drill was this? Everything and everyone is always working for my highest and best good. Everything and everyone is always working for my highest and best good. Now, the first time you repeat that is almost like the first time a baby starts walking. It's almost like the first time you start backing up doing your drills, or the first time you start learning your ABCs, or you're counting on your fingers, right? Whatever you're doing. The first time you do anything, you're not good at it, generally. Anything that you become proficient in has been usually the result of repetition. Depending on what it is, some people more than others, but usually more than once, we'll say. So, if you repeat anything to the point that you don't have to think about it, like I said, you can apply that thing without thinking about it and use something else. So if you said to yourself every day, all the time, everything and everyone is working for my highest and best good, and you rep that out over and over and over and over and over to the point that it just becomes a standing, static, standard thought. In my brother's case, when the blitz comes, when people start coming try to take your head off, right? When people start looking to do something to you, meaning when the world comes now, when you walk out of your front door or wake up out of bed, when now the game is on, you have this skill that you can use just subconsciously. It's just a standing thought. So now you can do this thing, you can perform this way while thinking about something else. For example, I have conditioned, I'm not talking about personally, I'm talking about the example. I have conditioned my mind to the point everything and everyone is always working for my highest and best good. Everything and everyone is always working for my highest and best good. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over, right? Then you go out, you're driving to work and you get a flat tire. What's the first thing you say? Have you said it enough where that's the first thing you say? Have you said it? Is it? Right? Is that the first thing you think? Right? But because look at what it says. Look at what the people who are thinking on the level we're thinking at. What do they say? What does it say? You have the victory in all things. What do they say? They say, according to your faith, be it unto you. Not according to what happened, according to what you assume or expect or accept. What your perception of something is that happened is really what's going to happen. Right now, you have an option. When you see a little kid on a bike and they fall off, they have an option. Some people get up and start crying. Some people just lay there crying. Some people just lay there trying to figure out what to do, right? And some people just get up, dust themselves off, get back on the bike and keep rolling. Don't they do that? So then how can you have 4 or 5 different responses to the same stimulus? The same stimulus, to the same incident. How can 4 or 5 different people act 4 or 5 different ways to the same thing? Because the same thing doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. It's only what it means to you. But then the question that I asked last week is, then who are you? Whoever you believe you are is why and how you respond to everything the way you do. Because who you are makes you now believe, based on that, you now believe that this is what this means to me. Right? So you're driving in your car and your tire goes flat. Instead of saying, oh, I knew I shouldn't have. Did I tell you to put air in the car? Instead of flipping all out and getting all crazy, but that's what you do because that's what you've repeated in life. That's where your reps lie. That's what you've been dropping back, cursing and falling out and everything. You've been repeating that. So when something comes out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What you call a Freudian slip? Nah, man. It's just like when you got gas and you've been trying to hold it, and after a while, you're just like, it's too much. It's just, hey, sorry, everybody. Right? Or you just, after a while, you can only hold certain things in that are dying to come out. When you keep putting food in your stomach, it's got to come out. When you keep repeating something within you, it's going to come out. That's not optional. That's the second pack of the muffins that we talked about last week. So you either buy both muffins, both packs, or you don't buy the muffins at all. You either put in what you want to come out or don't put it in if you don't want it to come out. So when you fall off that bike, when you get that flat tire, when you have said, you know what? Everything is always working for my highest and best good. If you can say that in that moment, you'll see how it'll be true. According to your faith, be it unto you, you will see how that'll be true. You'll run into somebody you would have never run into if your tire didn't get flat. But then when your tire gets flat and you're not thinking properly, you'll be so busy cursing the tire and your head will be down. You won't see the person and the person won't see you. And that's the person you've been looking for 3 weeks and you couldn't find their phone number. That's the person that you forgot to call back and they want to tell you something. But that very thing is being used for your highest and best good because that's your assumption. So my point is, if you can condition yourself, something as simple as that, everything and everyone is always working for my highest and best good. This couldn't come into my life if it wasn't for my best good. Nothing happens to me, for me, with me, about me, if it's not for my best good. Only the highest and best comes to me. People, places, things, situations, circumstances, conditions, they're only present in my life because they reflect and represent my highest and best good. How do I know? Because that's what I'm repping. That is what I'm conditioning. As the authority of my life, this is the only way it could be. Do you think there'd be a sun in the sky if, we'll just use the old word, if God didn't make it? Do you think the moon just appeared? Do you think the stars still hang just because it's got the best clothesline of all time? No, it's because something put it up there and keeps it up there. This is the way it's supposed to be. You have that authority over your life to make things the way you want them to be. And they already are. This isn't new. The newness is just the awareness of this truth. You are the creator of your life. You are the authority of your life. So what you're creating by your thought, your feelings, and your belief, by what you're assuming, allowing, accepting, believing to be so, is really what you're getting. It's not the actual incident, because the incident doesn't have to be bad. You don't have to fall off a bike and cry. You may not be hurt. Everybody has a choice to respond to things, but you respond according to who you are. And who you are is nothing but repeated thought to the point that it becomes a belief. To the point that you now have this belief, you can assume it. Right? You call it predicting the future. You can predict it. You just Oh, I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. Right? So my point to you in this little part of the section is repeat something that you can use for your highest and best good at every moment of your life, so that it's automatic in your response to everything, so that you can actually see what you get from that. You're getting from your belief, you're not getting from the incident. The incident is only a reflection of your belief. Its outcome is a reflection of your belief. So when something happens, that flat tire, the reflection of your belief is this always happens. Okay, then you won't see anything of value in that. You won't have any experience that validates that makes that like, man, that actually worked. That worked out for me. I saw so and so. Or I would have never known this other tire has a nail in it too. Or I would have never known my tires are so bald I need to get off the road. I would have never known that if this thing didn't happen. This actually worked for my highest and best good. I'm alive. Otherwise, they might have said, man, if you'd have kept going, this thing would have blown. You have a bubble on this side of your tire. But you would have never known that when you get into hysterics. If you fall off the bike and you just immediately fly off the handle. If you're playing with a ball and it goes in the street, and you just run in the street and chase it. Or a lot of times our emotions are out of control because our assumption is out of control. Mm-hmm. Oh man, this person said they were going to call me, and I needed this for my business, and they said they're going to call me, and they didn't call me. Man, I knew it. I can never get ahead. I'm always. If you understand that you are the authority of your life, what you say matters, man. This isn't semantics or positive thinking. It matters. According to your faith, be it unto you because of who you are. You declare and decree the end from the beginning. Everything is always working for you, and everyone is always working for the highest and best. And when you repeat that, that will be the thing that you can stand on. Then you apply it to the tire. You're like, well, everything is always working for my highest and best good. Everything is always working for my highest and best good. You're saying that to the tire. And it's in the sense of you're just saying it to the situation. You're saying, I'm not letting the situation change me. I'm the cause. It's not the cause. I'm God. It's not. I am the highest level of thinking. And how can that be if I let a situation change my mind about what is for me, or who I am, or how I respond, or how I react? But that's easy to say, but it's hard to do if you haven't repped it. We could all go out here and try to play some football right now. If you don't have enough reps doing that, it's not going to work no matter what your effort is. If you're not in that type of shape, that type of conditioning, if you don't have that type of awareness, that type of understanding and information how this works, you're not prepared when it comes. So I want us to be prepared. In the sense of, I want you to start repping the things that you can use in your everyday life to apply for now this thing. Everything is working for my highest and best good. Somebody called you, oh, I have some bad news. Everything is working for my highest and best good. Even before you say it, that's what I'm saying in my mind. I'm saying it the whole time. Even when you hang up. And then 5 minutes later, when you still said it and didn't call back, and I don't have any evidence to prove what I'm saying is true, I'm not going to change my mind. Because I'm the creator of my reality. I get what I say. And even if I can't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. Last example I gave is you go to your little nephew's house, your niece's house, or your kids, whatever, you come home and they see you and you have a gift behind your hand, and you walk in like dad or uncle or aunt or whatever, and they see you and you have something behind your hand. They see you, but they don't see it yet. So just because they don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You just can't see it right there in that second. But it doesn't mean the thing behind your back, the gift or the surprise you have for them doesn't exist. They just can't see it in that second, in that moment. But sooner or later, they start to say, what is that? What's wrong with your arm? Right? And they start to become aware of something. And you go like this, and you go like this, and finally say, all right, here you go. But you gave it to them 5 seconds later, 10 seconds later, a minute later, but you always had it. Your good may not look like that tire, but your good is right there behind you. Your good is right there. If that's your assumption, if that's your expectation, if that's what you've been drilling, it can't be any other way. It may look other ways, but it is not other ways. You have to be able to distinguish between the difference. It may look different. It may feel different. It may sound different. Every sensory thing that you have may tell you this ain't good. But you are the God of your senses. They're your senses. They ain't you, they're yours. You tell them to sit down. You tell them to be quiet. You tell them, yes, it is. My mom used to say, come on, we're going to church. As I tell you guys every week, no, we're not going. Oh, God, I don't like that guy. Why is it so long? Why is it taking so long? We're in there for hours. By the time we get out, it's nighttime. We went through the whole thing. But we were her senses, so to speak. She said, so what? I'll see you in the van at about 8:45. 8:45, we were all in the van. Your senses tell you things. Sometimes they rebel. Sometimes they tell you things. They're like, no, look, you're going to die. You're like, no. Everything's working for my highest and best good, and everyone is working for my highest and best good. Nothing can come to me without being my highest and best good. That's the only way that's the only reason this thing is eaten. My highest and best good. And I will stand on that. I will stand on my square, 10 toes down, right here. Period. And you will see your world bring a gift. You will see, like I said, that person come. You will see that tire, like, oh man, that saved you. You will see something that reflects your stand, what you say to be. Not what the situation looked like, but what you say it to be is what you got. What happened is not what you got. Different. Your uncle could come over. That happened. That doesn't mean I had to give you anything. What you got is different. They came and they gave you. They could come without giving. What happened is one thing. What you get is another. But what you get is based on what you assume to be. So condition your assumption to always be for your highest and best good. And everything and everyone is always working for your highest and best good. It may not look like it, especially when you start. It may not look like it, feel like it, sound like it, act like it, taste like it. Nothing in your world may tell you that's true. And in your world right now, it may not be. But let's just say it this way. God made the devil in heaven and threw the devil out. You can change your mind too. Whatever you said 5 minutes ago, you can change 5 minutes later and say, this is what it is now. And what that metaphorically meant was, it's essentially talking about throwing, the devil represents doubt. It's throwing doubt out of heaven, throwing doubt out of your mind. Doubt and God, devil and God can't live together. Doubt and faith can't live together. I'm rich, no, I'm not. I'm rich, no, I'm not. I'm healthy, no, I'm not. I'm healthy, I'm not. A double-minded mind can't get anything. Mm-hmm. So the devil being thrown out, the doubt being thrown out of heaven, out of that higher recess of mind. Right? You will see what you say if you don't let what you see change what you say. You will see what you say if you don't let what you see change what you say. If you don't let it change your thing, you're grown. Be grown. Be grown for real. No, this is what I said for me. Right? Repeat that. Find something for yourself that you can repeat so that it's a standing order of success, of goodness, of prosperity, and of abundance for yourself. So that you can apply it to every scenario that comes up, that whether it looks contrary or not, that's your assumption. And you don't let anything change that. Or anyone change that. All right. Anybody have anything to say about that before I move on?
Apply pressure.
To the pressure. That's right. Yes, sir.
Another thing on applying pressure. Remember when we were talking about last week on like me making like a t-shirt brand on that?
Yes, sir.
My quote?
Yes, sir.
I have it on a hoodie now.
Whoa! Man, hey, send me a link or whatever else it is, and so I can get one.
All right, most definitely.
Yes.
But right now, currently we're trying to get a patent and create a website, but I can most definitely figure something out for you specifically.
Yeah, let me know because I'll definitely buy one for sure.
I got you.
Yes.
Go to trademarkengine.com. You can get their trademark stuff real cheap there. It won't cost you monthly, but maybe like 150, 200 bucks. You get it trademarked.
Most definitely. I appreciate all. I appreciate all the game.
Trademark
really
engine. Trademark engine. I'm sorry.
I've been for like
Say
the
that
last,
again?
like ever since I released, I had my prototype and I went to school wearing it. A lot of people have been asking me, when's the hoodie coming out? A lot of people have been trying to buy the hoodie off me, but I've been telling them this is just the prototype. But now that I'm getting all this game, I'm gonna get the trademark. The goal is to get the trademark taken care of, get a t-shirt and hoodie distributor, and then Most likely we'll use Shopify to get all the hoodies and all that other stuff on there. And then most definitely start selling by March, because March is my birthday month. So the goal is to get everything done by the end of February. But most Coach Lucky, you were like a big inspiration behind this brand. So I'm most definitely gonna hook you up, because you the one. I got you.
Man, I appreciate you, man, and keep going, man. We're all here. We've all been you. We all wish we had information when we were your age, right? So that's why we're all so supportive of not only what you do, but of each other, because we all are trying to be our best at information, salvation. So good work, man. Keep doing it. Good work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think George was speaking.
Oh, I was just saying, thank you for the reminder, Coach, because sometimes we let life, take us the other way. We in it and we don't think about, we are the creator of our best reality. And saying just the part about you saying that everything is working in my favor. That's a daily reminder, like you said. We should be saying it in our head before we tell anybody else that. So thank you for the reminder.
Yes, sir. And you repeat it over and over and over and over and over, so that becomes a standing order. So that when something comes up that looks contrary, it doesn't matter, because you don't change your mind. Because if you can keep what you say and you don't let what you see change your mind, you're always getting what your mind believes. And a lot of times we don't get what we believe because we see something that makes us change our mind. We change our mind. We get off the off ramp. We turn around. Oh, it looks like it's closed. Looks like it's a detour. Looks like, okay, well, I'll just turn around. We never get to our desired end, right? And it's perfect. It dovetails into this next thing. All right. So I'm going to say this. But yeah, no, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to. So I have a question. Anybody can answer. I'm going to write it on the board, real big. What do you have to do? What do you have to do? Anybody feel free to answer. What do you have to do in life? What do you have to do?
Nothing.
Who said
Think.
Pay taxes.
No, you
that?
don't.
All right. So watch this. Monique said nothing?
Yeah.
Believe.
Monique is
Think.
correct.
Believe.
Nothing.
How can you
have-
not think?
You don't have to do anything. I'm talking about you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Just think about it. Everything you think you have to do, there's somebody not doing it. Or somebody deciding they're not going to do it. Or somebody stopped doing that. What do you have to do?
Coach Lucky, how are you able to not think?
What I mean is, I'm talking about by force, meaning like you have to do this. That's not even force. You don't have a choice because you're not even consciously guiding, right? Any more than like you're not pushing the food down your stomach and then passing some to your liver, right? Right. So yeah, that is an automatic process because that happens just from being alive. When I'm saying, when people say, oh, I have to do this, or I have to do that, or I have to do this, I'm talking about in that way. What do you have to do?
Yeah, in that case, nothing. Right?
Nothing. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
George put in the chat, you have to be true to yourself.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's a good idea, but do you have to do that?
I feel like you do, because if not, then I mean, like you said, if anybody come on doing something else that's not going what you in alignment with you, you're gonna go right along with it.
That's correct. So what did you say? You don't
That's
have
what you should do.
Right. Yeah, right. Because you said if. That means conditional.
Okay.
You don't, to your point, it's in your best interest. But do you have to do it? Because what did I say? What's the metric? How do you know if it's true or not?
In my world, I have to do it, but in somebody else's world, I can't speak for them.
That's correct. So that means you don't have to.
Gotcha.
Because to Kari's point, you have to think, you have to breathe, so to speak, you have to swallow, those are things, but if you look at all those things are subconscious, they're automatic things. Mm-hmm. Like nature, trees grow because it only has one identity. See, we are gods, meaning we are conscious. We have the ability to mess up things where other things don't, right? So we can say, yeah, this is good for us, but choose not to. Mm-hmm. So so if we don't have to do anything, then now we have three levels. I'm making this as simple as I can to impress a point. We have three levels. We have to. I have to go to work. I have to go to the gym. I have to think about the things you say I have to do. How pleasant is that? Then there's the next level in the middle. I'm just going to use three levels. Should. I should do this.
Oh, one more. Shudo.
Should do. Right? Have to, should do. Then you get the top one, which is get to. Get to reflects opportunity. Have to reflects obligation. Should reflects a little bit of both depending on what it is.
In the chat, George put choose to do, which I probably would put that in the first one, huh? Choose.
Well, no, I would probably put it, I mean, you can put it anyone, just depends on what it is and how you feel about it.
Right.
But the point is, there are three different levels. There are three different levels of thought. When somebody has to do something and they like, man, I have to do this. What do they look like? What do they sound like? How does it work?
Well, Amanda.
Sound like a slave.
Essentially, go ahead.
Amanda put in the chat because I want X, I need to do Y.
Well, like I said, the whole point is you don't have to even want what you want. You don't have to do anything. So now what happens is, because what did George say? Because as long as you're willing to suffer the penalty for not, you don't have to. You don't have to follow the law if you're willing to go to jail. You don't have to go to work if you're willing to not get paid. You don't have to listen to your wife or your husband if you're willing to sleep outside. You don't have, or sleep in the car, right? Right? I mean, come on, man. Right? As long as you're willing to suffer the consequence, so to speak, you don't have to do anything. So then my point to you becomes, if how you approach something is the outcome, then which one of these things, how do you think you should tune your mind to work? How do you think you
Get
should?
to.
Yeah, okay, and what is the benefit of that? What's the benefit of that?
It's positive. Anytime you say you get to do something, it's like you're adding on to yourself. I get to do this. It's a pleasure. I get to do this. I don't have to do this.
And what's the benefit of that? What do
It puts you in
get?
this positive mindset every time.
And so what is the benefit of that?
You get a positive outcome more often
Why?
because you expect it and you create it.
Right. Because everything is happening from that state. Your ideas, if you're in the state of opportunity, are much different than your ideas in the state of have to. They're different in the state of should. Right? This is upper class, middle class, and lower class. When you're in the ghetto, let's say, schools aren't as good generally, stores aren't as good for sure, streets aren't as good, more violence, more crime generally, right? We're not talking about the people, we're talking about the environment, right? There's less good here. Now, it doesn't mean you're not trying hard, but you have to try hard. That's all you got. You have very little good. It's all effort here. When you're in should, it's middle class. Middle class, it could be upper middle, lower middle, pure middle. So there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. There's a little bit of everything. There's up and down. Lower class is just all down pretty much all the time. Middle class is up and down. Good days, bad days. Good parts, don't turn down that street. Don't go over there, right? Same 2, 3, 4 blocks, right? Depending on the class and street. Get to is upper class. No matter where you go, even if your little kid called you 7 years old and they were lost, you're like, well, at least I'm not worried about them getting shot, stabbed, robbed. I'm not worried about certain things happening in this environment. That's why you moved there. It doesn't mean it's good, but you just realize that you're not concerned about certain dangers. Right? It's easier. No matter where they are, they're not in danger. When you're in upper class, you usually have better schools, better streets, better neighborhoods. Usually everything is better. It's, if you look at it, it's less physical effort to live there. It's maybe it's maybe more mental effort, meaning you got to make the money to live there. You're going to have to be thinking a certain way, right? But it's less physical effort to live there. It's peace, it's calm. Nobody's doing karaoke at 3 a.m. Nobody's out there with 40 gunshots on New Year's Eve. Nobody's stealing your packages off your porch. It's just it's everything about it is different. So the benefit of being there is that everything is good. But the work is to get there. The work is to get there. You got to make the money to get there. You got to be able to pay that house, pay that note, or whatever else it is, right? The work is to get there. The work is to get into the state. You don't have to do anything. So what I'm saying to you is, I'm not saying that like you shouldn't. I'm saying you don't have to. I'm saying if you get out of the state of have to, if you start really thinking and rearranging the way you approach things, my point is you'll get different ideas. That's my point. When your kids are playing video games, which one does it look like? Have to, should, or get to? Which one does it look like? Right? And look at how they act on the get to. Does anybody have ADD or ADHD when they're playing video games? Does anybody have any concentration issues? Does anyone have, people can sit for hours in the same spot?
Right.
Crisscross applesauce, can't they? All for hours at a time. Not move. They're not asking you for anything to eat. They're not people just in a coma, just straight there, just right there looking at it, right? Now, ask those same people to do their homework. What happens? They got to go to the bathroom 12 times. They want to know, can they get a snack? They want to say, well, if I just do a little bit, can I go back to the game or can I play the game? Like they can't wait to get out of there. Look at their effort. Look at their behavior. Look at their ideas. Look at the entire experience. From obligation. When you approach it as obligation, your whole state of mind is almost like a closed fist. Very few or little things can get through it. Nothing can really get through it. Right? When you're should, it's like you open your fist up a little bit. You can see a little bit, but you still got to squint one eye and things like that. When I get to, it's like your hand is open and your ideas are flowing. Your energy is flowing. Everything is flowing. It's open, it's unfettered, it's untethered, it's unrestricted. And what I'm saying to you is if you would just drop have to out of things, it's not because you're not saying I'm responsible and I should be doing something. Yes, but we're not saying you don't have to, like you don't want to be responsible. I don't mean that. But what I'm saying is that when we use certain words, we don't realize how it's affecting our psyche. We don't realize how it's affecting our state of mind, how we wonder why things are so hard when we feel like we have to. Because the way we're approaching it is from such a lower level of thinking. We can't stay focused on it. It's painful to stay focused on it. We're like that kid doing their homework that feels like they have to. We're like that person at work that you can just see they're there only for the check. They take as many breaks as they can take. They come as late as they can, not to get fired. Leave as early as they can, not to get fired. They do just enough to stay employed. They're in a have to. You can tell. Somebody who should, they're responsible, they come in on time, they leave on time. They give a little bit better work because they're hoping if they give just enough, they'll get a little bit of a raise. And they don't want to be bothered or hassled. So that they're here, they should be. They're doing what they should do. Wonderful. You got the person who's opportunity. Now you're looking at people who excel. You're looking at your Kobe Bryant, your LeBron James, your Michael Jordan, your Jeff Bezos. You're looking at your Oprahs. You're looking at people who excel. They're there. There is no Sunday. There is no Tuesday. There is no Monday. There's no night. There's no day. They're not grinding. They're loving. You never call a kid sitting there for 3 hours playing a video game. Oh, he just grinding it out. He's just going through it.
Yeah.
It's all joy for them. You got to drag them off the thing. You got to grind them out. You got to drag them out. Right? If you would change your consciousness, your psyche on how you approach the things that you want to be responsible for. That doesn't mean be irresponsible. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if it's something that you want to do, why don't you do it in the best way you can do it? And not just effort and try hard, in the best way you can think about it. So that you'll get better ways to think about it, which means you'll get better ways to do it. You'll find more effective and efficient ways to do things. You'll find how much more joy you have in doing the same thing, all because you change your mental approach to it. You open up your hands so your ideas will flow better. Your energy will flow better. Your focus will be better. It'll be easier. You'll look up and your workday will be done. You'll look up and the grass will be mowed. The dishes will be washed. The house will be clean. You'll look up and time flies when you're having fun. Fun is the state of mind. Everybody at Disneyland's not having fun. The parent that got 3 kids that are running around in 3 different directions with a fanny pack on, a backpack on, somebody's crown they want you to hold, and they want you to hold their sword. They ain't having the time the kids are having. It's a different thing. So everybody's not having the same experience, even if they're in the same place, because it's not the physicality that determines or dictates the outcome of what you're thinking. It's what you're thinking about where you are. It's your consciousness in the environment you're in that is dictating and determining whether this is fun for you or whether you can't wait to go home. We've all been to parties and see somebody stand on the wall and you're like, why did you come? Right? We've all been to people at Disneyland complaining and you're like, why did you come? We've all been in places that everyone swears is the funnest place on earth, and you can look around and find somebody that looks like they're in a holding cell at jail. You're just like, how can you have that look on your face here? That's Mickey Mouse over there, right? You're just thinking, but it's because everybody's in a state of consciousness, and everybody's not in the same state of consciousness, even if they're in the same environment. So fun is not an environment. Fun is an internal thing. It is a personal thing. It's something that is self-governed. This is where it's created. And then you find the physical thing that reflects what's inside. That's why everybody doesn't have fun in the same places. So you are in charge of fun. You are in charge of safety or security or success. Those are internal, that's an internal job. It's not external, it's internal, it's expressed external. That's why when you go to look to do something externally that's not fun to you, you don't want to do it because it doesn't reflect what's inside for you, what fun means to you. So if it means something to you, that means it's self-created. So then you can't look outside for something to make you feel something that's self-created. It didn't create you, you have to create it. Fun is self-created. Success is self-created. Peace is self-created. Joy is self-created. Everything that you think on the outside is making you something. No, it's just a reflection of what's already internal. It's no different for you than it is for anyone else. You're just different than the person that is fun for or not fun. So want us to understand that. These are 3 different levels of thought. I get to. I should. Dang. Say that. All right? You wake up and you're like, dang, that's have to. You already messed up. And you trying to think you're going to come up with a brilliant idea, thinking like that. You think you're going to, no, it's just always going to be at that level. Your ideas, your energy, everything comes from the level that you're on, so to speak. You don't have to do anything. If you would drop that and say, okay, if I don't have to do anything, what do I want to do? If I don't have to do anything, how can I do what I'm doing the best way I could possibly do it? Let me put some sauce on it. Right? Let me put a little bit of that on there. And you'll be amazed at what you come up with in the same place. You'd be amazed at how much better your tenants act. You'd be amazed at how much more you like your job and the people there. You'd be amazed at how much easier you get to work. You'd be amazed at how much more energy you have during the day. You'd be amazed at how much more energy you wake up with. You'd be amazed at how much better your relationships become. When you realize, you know what, I get to be somebody's mother. I get to be somebody's father. I get to be somebody's this or that or the other. And you actually start changing the way you perceive yourself and your relationship to the thing you're doing. And then you'll see the thing you're doing change. But it's not because it's all that different. It's because you're that much different. You are all that matters. You change you and you change your experiences. All right. Everybody get that? Anybody have anything they want to say on that?
I love how what you're basically explaining is what people call free will.
What do you mean?
Just that, you know, how always people use it in a religious way, like, oh, I have free will. what it really means is like that choice you get to have to pick whether you're going to have to or you get to. Like, things are always working out versus, oh snap, you know. So it's just awesome to be reminded that we can all choose to say everything's just working out for my best and highest good, and let's go. Yeah.
That's actually very true. You're absolutely right. Our choice is our freedom is our ability to choose.
Mhm.
Choose the mind you're in, the mood you're in. Don't we all feel grown because we can choose what we
Right.
wear, what we eat, where we go, who we talk to, what we drive? That makes us, we're like, yeah, I'm gonna eat McDonald's every day. I swear I'm eating McDonald's every day when I'm 5 years old. I swear when I'm an adult, I'm gonna do this every day, right? Because your parents
Right.
won't take you, but every once in a while, you swear that as you get older, part of being older is the authority and autonomy you have to govern your life, to be self-directed, to choose. But your life goes that way too. It's not just with the trinkets, it's with the treasures. It's what are you thinking? What are you willing to entertain for yourself? That's being grown. That's being awake and aware of choosing what it is your state of mind, what state of mind you occupy. Like you said, everything is working for my highest and best good, or when it rains, it pours.
Right.
Oh, you know how it goes out here. Oh, it's hard out here.
Right.
That is your freedom, is the ability to choose that. Your freedom is not the outcome. You have no freedom from outcome.
I was just gonna say, a lot of those thoughts are thoughts that are passed on to us. They're not even our original thoughts.
Mhm.
And then our body loves the habit of thinking things over and over and over. And a lot of times we may not be aware that what we're saying to ourselves is just a habit from something we heard from someone else to top it off.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. All information is acquired, whether it's self-acquired or whether it's given by someone else.
Mhm.
So, that's why at the very beginning of this, what I say, everything that I say is not the most important. What it makes you think is the most important, because you have to learn what works for you. You have to learn whether scripting or affirming or whether you want to believe this or believe that. This is on you. This is for you. You all are individuals, and you all have enough to be whatever you want to be. My job, you don't need me. My job is to remind you that you need you. That you need to listen to you. You need to pay attention to you. You need to love you. You need to respect you. You need to watch you.
Right.
Because everything that you could ever want on the outside, you have every ability on the inside to have it. But to your point, then it matters then what you're letting into your mind. It matters who you're letting into your mind. All that stuff matters because it's your mind. It's your life. Things like that, right? So absolutely, absolutely. Goes into the next part. This I call, I've said it a couple times here and there, but this is what I call the Walking Dead. So I've never really watched the show. I'm not really into war and all the gore and all too much, but whatever. But I understand that I've seen it once or twice, not the whole show, but I've seen it once or twice. And I'm just looking at I've seen the premise and all that stuff. But I want you to think about something. Have you ever noticed in a lot of like zombie movies and things like that, have you ever noticed how many Walking Deads there are compared to the people who are normal, so to speak? How many zombies there are compared to the people who aren't zombies? Have you ever noticed how many more people that is? Like, if you have one person, you got like 50 zombies. They're always chasing one person, right? There's a town full of zombies with 4 people that are normal, right? Have you ever noticed that? And have you ever noticed that all the zombies look crazy as heck, but they only look crazy as heck to the normal people? No zombie looks at each other like, man, you messed up. Huh? What happened to you? Right? Because if they did that, they'd be like, Clyde, no, you didn't say that. And your eyes hanging back here behind your ear. No, you did not talk about me like that, right? The zombies don't say anything to each other. And they look crazy, but they don't look crazy to each other. They only look crazy to the people who aren't zombies. But the zombies far outnumber the people who aren't zombies, right?
Yes.
So, do you know what that's a reflection of?
Our current existence on
Real life.
Society.
Society. Yes. Most people are the walking dead. People don't even realize what they're looking at. People don't realize what they're looking at. People are the walking dead. Most people are the walking dead. They have all of these, they are unconscious. They are walking around in a state of with a lack of consciousness. And they have a bunch of dead ideas, dead thoughts, dead beliefs. They are not life, they don't possess life-giving qualities. That's why they're not alive. They're the walking dead. But there's far more of them than people that are so-called normal. So what I'm saying that to say is, or why I'm saying that to say is, then how do you see when in the show, do you see any of the zombies? Like if they show another scene, do you see any of the zombies having a picnic with the normal people? Mm-hmm. Sitting there chopping it up like, hey man, how's your day? Man, you look pretty messed up. Man, you sure look good over there, man. Maybe I can get back one day. You don't see them entertaining each other. They're on the opposite end of the spectrum. Now, maybe in the future, the zombie can come back, but right now they're a zombie. What's my point? My point is that most people are the walking dead, and most people represent society. And so there's so many more walking dead people that it almost starts to look normal. The town starts to look like a zombie town. Anybody who came now would never know that it was normal once, because there's so many more zombies than normal people. So my point is that because so many people believe certain things or the same things, we start to think what is common is correct. We start to think what we've normalized is actually normal. We start to think what is so prevalent now is what has always been, and it's not. You are normal. You are correct. They are insane. They are messed up. Yes, their ear is really hanging off. Yeah, no, they really look crazy. They really are slobbering. They really do look that crazy. They sound that crazy. They talk that crazy. They act that crazy. It's just, hey, I ain't mad at you, but we can't hang out right now till you kind of get that together a little bit, because I don't want you biting me. I don't want you infecting me with that. And society overall is zombified. They've been given a bunch of bad information and a bunch of misinformation, and so they've been gutted in a lot of ways of their conscious awareness. So when you step out and say something, they think you're the zombie. Mm-hmm. They think you're crazy. And there's so many of them, it's almost convincing. It's almost like, damn, man, well, maybe I'm judging. Maybe I'm being judgmental. Maybe I'm being too critical. Maybe, no. Their eye is hanging out their head, man. This ain't no, you didn't misread the situation. They're slobbering, man. They look crazy. It's as crazy as it looks. It is that. Doesn't have to be that forever, but it is that right now. Right? And when you are thinking the way you should be thinking, you have to be aware, understand, and be okay with the fact that a lot of people around you don't. They just don't. They have been infected by all the other things around them. The people representing not only each other, but things. Disease, poverty, war, fear, anxiety, stress. All those people represent not only zombies as a whole, but each zombie represents a thing that infects each other. That's why they all look like that. They all are what they are, and they all infect each other with what they are. And in order to not turn into one of them, you can't think like that. You can't talk like that. You can't act like that. You cannot agree with that. You cannot attempt to understand that. Meaning, I understand what you're saying. I get where you're coming from, but I'm not attempting to understand it, to adopt it in order to make you feel better about who you are by adopting that insanity. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let you bite me because you hungry.
You accidentally dropped it.
See, I dropped the thing and I didn't mean to drop it. It's so upsetting. Right? So sometimes people around us are zombies. It doesn't make them bad people, and they may have gotten bit from someone else. But it still is what it is. And you have to be mindful of who you are allowing to infect you, whether it is positively or negatively. But most people, like society, are that way. Because just like there, you have to make a conscious effort to stay alive in the zombie film, don't you? You always on the run and always shooting. You have to be alert and aware, because otherwise you'll become like society. Wars all around the country, famine all around the country, terrible food around the country, drugs around the country. There's all around the world, there's stuff happening. And if you don't take control of your mind by choosing what you think, by choosing what you ruminate on and entertain, by choosing, you are going to be infected with poverty, stress, worry, anxiety, fear, doubt, dismay, disgust, whatever it may be. You are going to get infected, because that's what society is running on. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's just wisdom. I tell my daughter all the time, how do we make decisions? In wisdom, not fear. Wisdom, not fear. When you're wise, you don't have anything to be afraid of. God has no problems. Why? Because God has all the answers. God is not afraid because God is the most powerful. It's not just because, oh, no, you don't have to be afraid of something, or you don't have to be unaware of something if you have awareness, afraid of something if you're more powerful. Right? So you have to choose how you think, because the zombies are common. They're not correct, but there's so many of them, it'll make you think that maybe they are correct. There's so many people saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with being afraid. Everybody's afraid of something. Well, you know what? It's just flu season. That just happens. Girl, everybody's sick out here around winter. I don't even know why you're trying to talk that positive talk. You'll be all right. You'll get a cold, but you'll be all right. It's just the things that people try to normalize. It's not normal to be sick. It's not normal to be poor. It's not normal. It's common. It's normalized, but nature will show you what's normal. Always more than enough water, always more than enough stars, always more than enough leaves, always more than enough blades of grass, always more than enough sand at the sea, always more than enough stars. There's always more. Nature always makes more than it needs. You never see a tree say, you know what, that's enough.
That's so true. Even when like a hurricane or something happens, they still come back.
Everything comes back to what's normal. Nature is your nature. You are the creator of nature. That's who you are before you got into this body. You're not this body. You're in it. You're in it. You're not it. You're in it. It's natural for you to be prosperous. It's unnatural to be broke. It's unnatural. Why do you think it sucks? It's unnatural to be broke. It's not something to find a good way to rationalize. Like I told my man Justin a month ago or so, don't rationalize the dark. You know what? I didn't pay electricity bill. Lights ain't coming on. Well, hallelujah anyhow. What? No. How your kids gonna do their homework in the dark? This ain't 1700. Anybody got a bunch of candles? They gonna light up to do your homework by candlelight? What you gonna do? Ride a horse to school tomorrow too? Come on, man. What are you talking about? Like, no. It's unnatural to be broke. It's unnatural to be sick. It's not natural. It's normalized. It's not normal. It's common. It's not correct. Separate the two. It's not to judge yourself or condemn yourself. It just means, hey, I took the wrong turn. I need to make a U-turn, a 3-point turn. It's not to judge you for being sick. It's not to judge you for your bank account. That's not what that's for. But it's to bring it to your, what if you didn't know it's not normal?
I just thought about an analogy I had heard of when you're on your GPS and you turn the wrong way. Your GPS is not like, hey, it's it's stupid, you went the wrong way, or whatever. It just reroutes itself, just like that.
That's it. That's all. That's what I bring this up for, is for you to reroute yourself, not to call you names, but it's not natural to be poor. It's not natural to be sick. It's not natural to be unhappy or unhealthy or feel unsafe. It's not natural. It's normalized. And since so many people are doing it, then everybody starts adopting it, and then everybody starts adapting themselves to it. It's not. I want you to know it is normal for you to be prosperous, for you to have more than enough. It's normal for you to be healthy all the time. It's normal for you to be happy. It's normal for you to be safe and secure. It's normal for you to be sane. It's normal for you to listen to yourself and love yourself. It's normal for you to look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful, or I'm handsome, or I'm funny, or I'm smart. But so few people do it now that when you do it, you're arrogant, or you're someone else. Or you got to wait around for somebody else to tell you what you can't. You can't even tell yourself you're beautiful. That's a bad thing. You got to wait for somebody else to say it. Do you see how insane that is? Then you're mad if nobody tells you. Right? You have to be willing to say to yourself what you want to hear from other people. You have to be willing to see yourself the way you want other people to see you. You have to be, because you are the creator. You are the authority. Everything starts and ends with you. And your physical world just reflects it. Whether it's in a person or a circumstance or a situation, it's just reflecting your consciousness. If you feel like you're ugly, don't worry. Don't worry. There's going to be something to make sure it's proven to you. If you walk around feeling broken, oh, God only gives you this and you can only have that and just a little bit and just enough and just be grateful, you'll have just enough to be just grateful for. Just grateful for, right? Just little things. I want you to change your thing. Sometimes I'll say this to you. We've all been to a restaurant. Now I want you to think about the psychology of what I'm getting ready to say to you. Who goes to the restaurant and who goes to the restaurant? Who goes to the restaurant to save their food? Like I'm gonna order this so I can save it. Now you're going there to eat. So I'm saying to you, if you go to a restaurant and sit down and eat, when you order your food, what are you ordering your food to do?
Consume and enjoy.
Okay, consume it, enjoy it. Okay, what is your enjoyment? So then what is your enjoyment based on then?
Your choice, your taste.
Okay, your choice, your taste. Okay, somebody else now. What else? Your choice, your taste. What else?
How the food is prepared
Okay, then
or
okay,
how it's cooked.
okay, and then what else?
Your feelings.
Meaning what?
You feel like eating.
Okay.
You feel hungry.
Okay, you feel okay. So then, what is part of your enjoyment based on then?
Your current state.
Okay, what are you going to the restaurant to eat for?
To be satisfied.
To be satisfied.
Mhm.
Satisfied. Satisfied. What's another word for satisfied? What do they say after you eat? I'm so full. Okay, watch this. Now, have you ever eaten, gotten full, and had something left over? Has anybody ever done that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
To be able to take some later home? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So full, and then you have leftover. Now, are you guys paying attention? You guys
Yes.
paying attention? Listen to what I'm gonna say to you. You have a checking and a what?
Saving.
How come you don't have a checking and a leftovers? Why don't you have so much money that there's nothing left to buy? That there's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else you want. Why save it? Why don't you just buy everything you want? Did you save your food? You know what? I'm just gonna take a little piece of this. I'm gonna go here because I'm hungry. I'm just gonna take a little piece of this, then I'm gonna save it for later. Well, that means you're not full now. You're not satisfied now. And then guess what? If you had some of this now, you won't be satisfied later either because you don't have enough either time. Why do you think people are constantly unsatisfied, even though they're doing something? Because people go into things starving and never get full. What I'm saying to you is, why don't you have a checking and a leftovers account? Why don't you get rid of the savings and actually have a leftovers account? Why don't you actually change the way you think about this? Why don't you say to yourself, you know what? Instead of saving, because what do people save for? What do most people save for? What do they say? Save for a
rainy day or an emergency.
guess what? So now it's a rainy day and an emergency. And what do most people say when that happens? When it's a rainy day and an emergency, how do people feel about that?
Oh snap.
Oh snap, thumbs down. Oh, but you're saving for oh snap and thumbs down.
Mm.
What's the problem? You know what I say? Congratulations. The rain came. It came. Why don't you say, why don't you actually get what you want? Why don't you actually have a leftovers account? Why don't you actually say, you know what? I have so much money, I live in leftovers. I went into it hungry, meaning I went to buy something. I bought what I wanted, so now I'm full. And now I have money left over still. I got what I wanted and I still have money left over. I'm living in leftovers. I can't have leftovers if I have no food. I can't have leftovers if I'm full. So I ate till I got full and now I have leftovers. This is not semantics. I'm not using little differences in words. I'm using the differences in words to alert you or to awaken you to a different state of mind, to a different way of thinking about something, to not save things, to actually generate so much that you can have what you want, have what you need, and still have left over. There was nothing left to buy. There was nowhere left to go. There was nothing left you wanted. I still have money left over. I got what I wanted and still I have. I didn't have to cut off what I wanted to save it for later. I didn't have to eat just a little bit. I had to buy these shoes just because I can afford to work with these right now and then maybe later. I'm saying get what you want. I'm saying generate in your mind so much abundance that you have leftovers. There ain't nothing left to buy. There's nowhere left to go. There's no more vacations to go on. There's no more, your kids don't want any more shoes. You don't want a better car. You don't want a better house. I want you to change your mind from saving, hoping, well, let me not use all of what I have. Why don't you get more than what you need? I'm trying to get you to shift your mind. This is not semantics. This isn't positive thinking. I'm not just saying, well, just use a different word. No, it doesn't matter if you change the word with the same intent. I'm talking about change your intent. What is your intent? I want you to live in leftovers. I want you to say, I got a checking and leftovers. I'm not saving anything. Not because I don't have, saving just means you have more or you have something somewhere else. Yeah, leftovers does too. But saving may not mean you got full. I want you to get full. I want you to eat all the food and crawl up out of there with the itis and get in the back of the car and go to sleep. And then wake up with a doggy bag of food that you can reheat later that evening. That's what I mean by I want you to get full and still have more. I want you to change the way you think about your resources. Leftovers and savings are not the same thing. I want you to have leftovers. I want you to be full. I want you to pay all your mortgage, all your rent, all your bills, and go to Disneyland, and go to the grocery store, and fill up your gas tank, and get you a nice suit that week, or some nice shoes, or a nice purse, and then be too tired to do anything else. And you still got money. That's leftovers. That's not saving. You didn't spare anything. You didn't say next week, next month. You said, no, I want this, and I have this, and I'm buying it until I'm tired of buying it. That's what I want you to have. If you don't want to use it anymore, don't use it anymore. If you don't want to buy anymore, cool. But I want that to be your choice. I want you to live in leftovers. Everything you wanted, nothing left. Ain't nothing left to buy, ain't nothing left nowhere else to go. I'm tired. I'm gonna sit down and go out and whoo. And you still got money in your account after you did everything. Not instead of doing some things, but not the others. Not instead, well, I didn't pay this, but I still got a little money left over for. No, pay that too and money. I want you to shift your consciousness, your mindset from savings to leftovers. I always have everything I need and leftovers. Every time I use my money, it goes out and multiplies and comes back multiplied. I always have more coming back than what I put out. I always have more in the end than I started with. I want you to operate in leftovers. I'm saying this over and over and over because I want it to be clear. We're not shifting words with the same intent. We are shifting words because it's a reflection of our shifting of intent. You get what you intend. You are God. You get what you focus on, what you are creating consciously, what you're assuming to be true. So if you shift from savings to leftovers, you're going to see how you bought everything you wanted and you like, yeah, I still got it. It may be I have 20 bucks left. The next week I got 30 bucks left. Next week I got 75 bucks left. But I bought everything I wanted, needed, liked, hoped, wished, and I still got this left over. It's not even to buy it. I'm just going to leave it there. People call that savings, but no, you know it's leftovers because you're not saving it for anything. In the sense of, but you still have money there. So if you need a new tire, I got money there. But it's not because I saved it for a tire. It's because it's left over. I don't have nothing else to buy. Now I need to buy this. I'm going to buy this too now. I want you to live in leftovers. I want you to live in a consciousness of abundance, of more than enough. Not just enough to have a little bite, and then if I save this other half, I can have the same little bite next time. You got 2 little bites. I want you to get full twice off of the original, off of your desire, and your leftovers. Does everybody understand that? Anybody have anything they want to say about that?
I like that concept. I like that concept. Leftovers.
It's just a different state of mind. You don't go to a restaurant trying to buy leftovers. You go and get full, and if you get full and you have something left, cool. Or if you get full and you say, oh, let me bring something for someone else. When leftovers, you can eat it later for yourself or give it to someone else. If you're saving, what you gonna give them? If you go in there hungry and you eat just enough so you can save it for later, how are you gonna give it to them? You're gonna be hungry at the same time they are. Neither one of you got full. You ate half, so you're halfway full. You gave them half, so they're halfway full. Now you have 2 people halfway full. Now you got 2 people in a bad mood.
Angry.
At least I got full and you in a bad mood. I'll be like, see you later. I'll be back in a couple hours. At least I can get away from you. But now it's 2 people full, not full. It's 2 people unsatisfied, 2 people dissatisfied, 2 people incomplete. I want you to go and get full at the restaurant and bring the leftovers home to the people at your house, so that they can get full too, so that you can be, you come home full and you give them full. You have money, you bought everything for yourself and you bought everything for your kids and your spouse and your significant others, your companions, whomever. I want you to shift your mind into that. Because wherever you shift your mind, remember, like we talked about, that's what you're going to get. You're getting savings. Yeah, you have something to save, but you didn't get everything you wanted. I want you to learn how to start getting everything you want and have nothing left to want with that check, nothing left to want with that money. There's nothing left to buy from that account, and you still got money sitting there. So it's not the absence of money. It's just the absence of anything left to buy with it. Isn't that cool? To have nothing left to buy? To shop until you just want to leave? I'm just tired. Right? For every bill to be paid, and you out at the movies, and you going to dinner later, and you're like, oh, this is nice. Right? So you didn't have a good night, but now you have no electricity. We're not talking about one or the other. We're talking about having a good night and having electricity the next morning, and still having money in your account. We're talking about all of it, not some of it. Shift that. I want you to shift that. Leftovers, the intention of the word. You can call it whatever you want, but the intention of the word. I eat till I get full, and I just still have more left. I got to figure out what I want to do with it. I want your money to be that way, your health to be that way, your success. I want you to feel like, man, this is what it is. I'm full, and there's nothing left for me to want. Right? All right. Last thing I'll say is if you listen to what I just said right now about leftovers, or if you listen to what I said about what do you have to do, what I'm trying to get across to you is what people call the work. When people say you have to do the work, you have to do the work. Whatever it is, you have to do the work. I'm trying to get across to you what the work here is. Creation is finished. Everything is already existing. Every state in America already exists. So when you say you want to move, you're not making New York. You're not making New Mexico. You're not making California. You're just moving there. You're not doing anything. You're not making anything. You're just moving there. The work, consciously in consciousness, to become what you want is to move consciously from where you're living, from what you are believing yourself to be, from the state you're in now, from California to Florida. I'm not making Florida. I'm moving to Florida because Florida represents or reflects what I want my experience to be now. The work is to move. The work is not creation. The work is to move. Just like there is a state, right, where you live, there's a state of mind that you occupy that forms your, what you call, identity, what you believe yourself to be. If you have an identity that you're occupying that does not allow you to express what it is you want to be, just like if you're living in a state and it's too cold all the time, you move to a warm weather state, or vice versa, you move to a colder or cooler state. The work is not to create the state. The work is to move from the state you're in to the state that reflects how you want to live. Those states physically are the same thing as the states mentally. A state of mind is where you're living. If where you are living is too cold for you, move to where it's warmer, or vice versa. If the taxes are too high, move to where the taxes are lower, or vice versa, however you want to see it. The work is to move. It is not to create. That's not the work. You're not creating anything ever. If you think you are, that's not correct. You're not creating anything ever. What you're always doing is moving. And what you think is creation is actually nothing but two things: invention, and if you want to use your hands, assembly. Meaning, when you move states of mind, you now what you call, oh, I created this new thing. You didn't. What you did was invent. And what that means, as we know in this class, means to stumble upon. When you change your mind, when you change your state of mind, you are now going to get, like we talked about, the 3 classes: have to, get to, should. What you're doing is you're moving. When you move states of mind, you're going to get different ideas, or you're going to come upon different things that exist here that didn't exist there. So what you're doing now when you move is you're inventing. It means you are now moving to a place where you'll stumble upon an idea, something that already exists. You didn't create it, it already existed. So now when you move states of mind, you stumble upon that invention. Then you say, okay, I'm creating a makeup brand. Well, no, you're inventing. It means you stumbled upon the concept of a makeup brand. And then what you're doing is you're using your body to assemble it. You're putting together the idea. But the idea is the creation, meaning all ideas are already finished. All ideas already exist. What you're doing when you affirm, what you're doing when you script, what you're doing when you're repeating something is you are conditioning your presence in a state. Like going from a visitor, when you stay there long enough, you become a resident. When you stay in a country long enough, you become a citizen. Now, I'm not talking good or bad, just listen to the principle. I'm not talking good or bad. But why do you think people migrate? Why do you think people have immigration? Because they're moving from one place to another to get opportunities that doesn't exist in the place they're in. Whether it's a better life, a better job, a better health, better money, whatever it is. And they understand no matter how hard they work, it doesn't exist here. So you migrate to the place it does. So what you're doing when you move, you're migrating, you're changing states of mind from the person who says, I'm always broke, to the person that says, I'm living with leftovers. all my money, every time I use my money, it meets the need, exceeds the need, and provides leftovers. Every time I use my money, it meets the need, exceeds the need, and provides leftovers. That's a different state of mind. I'm in a different state than the person. I'm in a different country than the person who's over here saying, oh, okay, oh, it doesn't, I never have enough money. Oh, money doesn't grow on trees. Oh, it's so hard out here. What we're doing is we're moving states of mind to stumble upon the idea that already exists. You're not creating anything. You're just moving states of mind. And what you're doing to do that is by what you're constantly saying to yourself, what you're believing to be true, you're occupying a state of mind. And if you want to transform your life, if you want to move, you have to renew your mind. You have to move states of mind. You have to change your mind. You have to go to a place where there are different thoughts. The thoughts already exist there. You don't have to bring them with you, but by changing your thoughts, it reflects a new place. You didn't change yourself, you just crossed the border. You just crossed the line. You're the same person, but just by crossing a line or a border, you get access to different things. Why do you think everybody's doing it? They've been doing this since time immemorial. People have been crossing lines and borders. It's not, I mean, right now we're alive, so we act like it's the only time it's happening, but it's been happening. Right? So my point is the work is to change your mind. It's not to get 4 jobs. It's not to do all the other physical things you think is going to change your life. Because the physical things that you were going to change your life, you've been doing all the physical things and your life still sucks. But you can't get a new life with the same mind. You can't get new outcomes with the same thoughts and the same feelings, the same beliefs about something, the same assumptions about how it's going to go for you. If you want to have a new life, meaning a new reality, meaning a new physical reality, you're going to have to first have a new mentality. That's the only way it's going to change. You can't outwork it. No matter how hard you work, you're in the state that you're in. Philadelphia, California, New Mexico, Texas, wherever you are, no matter how hard you work today, you're in that state. Unless or until you leave. The work is to change your mind. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. The only way you change is when you renew your mind. The only way your physical world changes is when you get a different thought, because your physical world is a reflection of your thoughts. That's it. Just like when you take a test, it's a reflection of the information you have. The test didn't make you smart or not. The test just shows you if you are or not, meaning if you have the information. It's a reflection of your information. Your life is a reflection of your information, a reflection of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, your assumption, your identity, who you believe in yourself to be. See it? The work is to change your mind. The work is to see yourself differently, label yourself differently, talk to yourself differently, talk about your life differently, go from savings to leftovers, go from have to got to I get to, go from everything is always working for my highest and best good, everything and everyone, to oh, the tire blew. Change the way you think, change the way, and when you do, you'll change the way you act. You'll change the way you show up in life and address life, because you are the authority of it. It's here for you. All right. Almost 9, so I want to give a couple minutes for anybody to have anything they want to say, ask questions, anything before we get out of here. Before I throw the marker.
I really appreciate this, Coach Lucky. One of the things I really like about what you're saying is to change your state by changing your thoughts. I fully agree with that. I have to remind myself to not come down on myself when I supposedly mess up or do things that not talk too bad, because that's going to be in that state to repeat those problems again. I have to remind myself to speak differently to myself. So thank you for that reminder. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. My honor and pleasure. George.
I like the part where he said, "In a world full of zombies, it's okay when you look like you're the norm. You're not the norm. Especially when we got some young people on the call. You can easily get into that. They doing it over there, so let me go ahead and do it, so they don't think I'm weird or think I'm. I've been like my whole life. I've been like I like to go do different. I like to go the other way from the crowd, and sometimes they get lonely. And sometimes you look like you're crazy, but actually you're the one that's going the right way. And your analogy about the zombie movie, I'm telling you, I don't even watch zombie movies like that, but the ones I watched, I'm like, that's exactly right. It's always way more zombies and not enough regular people. So like, what's up with that? So, that's just, thank you for that reminder to let us know that, what I'm saying, in a world full of zombies, we are, it's all about the state of mind that you're in, and they're not going to look. Because the zombie, they don't even know that they're zombies sometimes. And you know what I mean? And, sorry, to the zombies, they don't look like they're zombies sometimes, and they just, it's just the norm, and we can get caught up in the norm. So thank you so much for that analogy.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. That's exactly right. What is normal, people think is correct. You have to know the difference. Otherwise, you'll end up infected just like them. You'll be looking crazy and won't know it either. Because everybody will tell you, oh, I understand. Oh, girl, I get it. Oh, yeah, bro, it's hard out here, ain't it? It's all zombies, all sick, infected, messed up, dying, just walking dead. Yeah. So, yeah, in order to be life and to maintain your life, you have to remain uninfected. And in order to do that, you have to consciously choose life every day. Constantly choose what you're thinking, what you're believing, what you're assuming to be true about yourself and your life and every aspect of it. Because otherwise, the default is zombie, as you can see. Yes, absolutely. Wonderful.
Coach, real quick, I want to tell you something.
Yes.
Your effect on me and the effects from everybody in this group has just been, phenomenal. And I try and keep it more to myself and held within, but I can't hold it today. I just got 17 orders on TikTok while on this call. Like, this is the biggest sales day I've had so far. And I know it's because I've been holding myself to the reality that my energy is going to bring about the proper outcome. And if I step over the line and try and fix a problem just with my own physical efforts, I'm taking myself out of frequency. And I have to learn to stop doing that and staying, focused in that realm and knowing that everything's working out for my greatest good and waiting for that to show up versus trying to force it to show up.
Yeah.
And having those sales show up while I'm on this call, it completes the circle.
There you go. Church on the move. Church on the move. That's it. That's awesome. Congratulations, Les. Congratulations.
Yes. I mean, congratulations to a few of you on this call.
Yeah.
Johnny's got his ebook. Kari got a couple of congratulations, right? Today is his real freedom day. He quit his job and is double downing on himself. And the baby number 2 is on the way. I mean, everyone's just winning out here, and I love it. We got Gavin getting his ideas out into an actual product. I mean, and he's 14. How amazing is that? I just want to say congratulations to everyone that's winning, and just believe in yourself and stay focused. It's incredible. I'm excited.
I'm so happy I got bitten by this crew of zombies.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, anyone else before we let you guys go?
All right.
Well, wonderful. Well, hey, you all have a wonderful week, a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, wonderful upcoming week. Keep applying, keep taking what resonates with you, apply it, and see what you get. Oh, taste and see, right? And see what you get from it. Keep applying, keep staying in the state. Choose your state of success. Assume your state of success. Don't let what you see change your mind. Don't let what you see change what you say. Right? Say what you mean what you say, stand on your square, and you will see physically it come into your world, right? Because you will change your state of mind. Yes, Gavin.
Hold on. Hold on. So I know I was talking about my brand and all that. I was just I didn't have time to write everything down. So if anybody in this call who was giving me game about like Shopify and the trademark and all the other stuff, could you please put it in the chat so I could get a screenshot of it and put it in my notes so I could, instantly take care of it. But other than that, I just want to say thank you. This has gotten me in the right headspace for the week and the weekend. And this was the pressure I needed for the day. I really appreciate it.
And I can't type right now because I'm driving, but the trademark website is trademarkengine.com.
Trademark engine, got you.
Engine, yeah.
Engine,
Hey.
trademark engine, I got you.
Can I say something to you, Gavin?
Yes.
Gavin, when don't let the trademark slow you down. Ain't nobody gonna steal your idea. Focus
Right.
on just putting it out and get it out there. Cause also
Get
when
it
you put
out.
out your trade, when you go for your trademark, they're gonna ask you where is it at? It's for sale. They're gonna ask you if it's out already been used. So just go out there, sell them things, and think about it this too. It's not gonna be wintertime for forever. You know, you want to sell some hoodies, and you got people at your school already want to buy them. Print them things up, sell them things. You feel me? Ain't nobody gonna steal your idea. You got an amazing
Yes, sir.
idea, and if they do, I'll come be security for you. All right.
Oh no, I already know. I appreciate
And
it.
then Gavin, reach out to me so we can have a session when it comes down to Shopify, e-commerce. I got you.
I got you. Thank you. And on top of that, if anybody right now in this call wants a hoodie from me, with Coach Lucky's permission, I'll type the name of my brand in the chat with your permission. This is the Instagram, so if y'all want to be in contact with me about my hoodies,
Please say it as well, because I can't see the chat right now. So please say it out
Gotcha.
loud so I can hear it.
The Instagram is apply pressure to pressure 1738. It's like all one word. There's no spaces, but just look up apply pressure to pressure 1738. That's what it's called on Instagram.
Thank you.
Get on TikTok too.
No, yeah, most definitely. We're doing all that.
Yay! Awesome.
Yeah, just congratulations to you all. This is all about you. Take it, apply it to you, your life, your desires, your dreams, and assume you are whatever you want to be. And that assumption, at the moment that you see it, may not look like it, but if you persist in that assumption, it will become what you call reality, what we call physical reality. It will become hard, it will harden into fact. You will see it physically in your world, right? An assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. So you feel free to choose what state of mind you occupy. You choose to assume whatever it is that you want to be or do or have, like it's already a fact. Assume sold out sweaters, assume sold out this or that, or assume, whatever. You're always assuming anyway. Goal here on Saturday is to make you aware that you're doing that so that you can choose what assumptions that you are using and make sure that you put your highest and best. So thank you all. Another wonderful Saturday. Keep up the great work. Keep winning. All of you, please feel free to come in between 6:30 and 7 on Saturdays. That's where we get to discuss a lot of things and talk, catch up, share testimonials, praise reports, whatever you want to call them, right? And so you don't have to wait till 7. It's open at 6:30, so we can do just things like this, because afterward I know it's 12 o'clock where most of you guys are. So please come in 6:30 to 7 Saturdays, and then we get the class started at 7. But that 6:30 time is for everybody to catch up, chat, chill, share information, and all the different things. So it's wonderful. Have a great rest of the day, great week, and we'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Have a good
Good night, guys. Later.
Have a great weekend, family.